Hi, everybody from Quantum You podcast. I'm so excited once again to be here this week. Myself, Renelle, and
Hi
Ashley.
guys, Ashley's here too.
Sorry, Ashley, I was waiting for you to say hello.
Oh,
But
that's great.
yeah, how have you been?
Good. It's been a fun-filled week, and just excited for Mother's Day this weekend.
Yes, it's very
Happy Mother's Day to you.
so much. And have you got plans for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, my mom and I we're doing kind of a little mini spa day, the two of us. So I'm so excited.
That is so exciting. Like I said to you before, my mom's in South Africa, so I've got to do it virtual, and I'm
Mm,
in Germany and she's in South Africa, and it's so nice to have your mom there. So I'm sure you're going
yeah,
to love it. I'm going to
I'm
have
excited.
I'm going to have lunch at my mom-in-law's, but it's also great. I call her mom, and she's cooking and making everything. So I guess that is a wonderful Mother's Day for
There
me.
you go. You don't have to. Any food that you don't have to cook is great.
Trust me, it is wonderful. I enjoy that so much. So today, our topic for everybody listening is how to walk being free of the fear of death, because it is quite a big thing at the moment with all that is going on around us. Um, what is your take on that? What is your experience, and how do you feel? What is your idea on this? Or
Yeah. My mindset has changed over the years, and someone who I've really been grateful for to help me understand this is Joseph Murphy. Kind of something that we need to understand is we don't ever actually die. Nobody ever actually dies. It's just a change of frequency from the earthly frequency into a more spiritual frequency, and your loved ones are still very much around and alive and present and conscious. And so my fear of death has changed over the years to just be more of a curiosity about what that other dimension is. And there's not such a finality about death, which I think removes a lot of the anxiety surrounding it.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, my brother passed a couple of weeks ago, which was obviously very sad because we do miss these people. But I find this time experiencing that he passed on with the knowledge that I have now and with what I think about death has made it so much easier. And I've noticed that a lot of people around me did not actually know how to cope with it, especially to cope with my lightness of being about it, my awareness that he is not dead but just passed on and still around. And it's just so different, your frequency, as you said, this frequency that he's uh, not somewhere far off, and we can be aware of them, and it just makes it so much easier when once you like kind of lose family members. And so I felt my awareness regarding this became more and more and more. And if I could put it this way, I'm really privileged that I could have this, that I could
Mm,
actually feel like this, because it's amazing.
yeah, it's so freeing, and I've had a couple of friends pass away this year into another frequency, and it just it we're sad for us, but we're not sad for them. Joseph Murphy talked about it, it's almost like you should celebrate their birthday into the next realm and be so excited for them in that way. And one of the things that I find is really comforting for people is when somebody passes, it is always, this might be hard to hear, especially if you've had a loved one pass. Um, it is always a choice for that person to go. And so, whether, an accident can happen or it can appear that their life was taken from them, but when they go into this other frequency, people talk about near death experiences a lot. They're always offered a choice to stay or go. And because they transfer into this frequency of pure love and pure acceptance and wholeness, and they're offered to stay, they stay a lot of times. And if they do, you can know that that's something they've chosen to do, and you can, the best thing you can do for them is to give them permission to go in peace. And it's just such a beautiful thing in that way.
Yes, and while you were talking, I was also just thinking of what Hale Dawkins said. He said that our bodies were born. We weren't born. We existed from before the foundation of the earth. The scriptures also say that. And that is the most amazing when one comes to realization that we might be passing through. It's all part of our eternity, all part of our eternal existence as beings, as awareness, as,
Yeah.
Christ likeness. And it's actually should be seen as parts of our journey and
Yes.
the end of something. And it changes one's perspective completely on death, so to say. And when one deals with it and one releases these the fear that one has of death, it changes even so many aspects of life.
Yes.
You become so far more aware of life, and you realize that I think people will take a lot more risks. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is, I'm just thinking of Elon Musk. Before he really stepped out and did all these great things, he made sure that he went to go and live on $1 a day to show himself that he doesn't have to fear anything. Now, this is not death, but it's also threatening for us to live on $1 a day. For 3 months, he
Mm-hmm.
did this. So he actually
Yeah.
proved to himself there's nothing that he had to fear. And in terms of death, my brother, to use him as an example, he always looked out to fulfill whatever he wanted to fulfill. And he used to say to my sister-in-law, my body might be weak, but I am so strong. And he never used to complain. He didn't want her to sympathize, and he lived till the last second. And what she called it is a beautiful death, which is a beautiful passing on. And of course, she's sad, but she said she couldn't have wanted it in any other way. So,
Yeah.
so his time in this dimension came to an end. And as you said before, it's more sad for us than the person that is leaving. And we were laughing because my brother would always speak about the flat earth theory. And we would say, now we said, oh my gosh, we're actually jealous because he knows all now. He actually knows where.
Be like, can you tell us whether it's flat? That's all we want to know.
Few questions I have. Come on, come visit me and tell me.
You
Yes.
know what? You said something that I thought was really important there, just talking about the fear of death impacting how you live your life. And I think that the fear of death can be, I'm fearing death in my job, I'm fearing death in my relationship, I'm fearing death in anything. And because you fear it, you're clinging to it. And because you're clinging to it, you have all this locked energy around it, and you're not living in flow. And if you can release that ultimate fear of death, not just an actual death, but death of anything in your life, you can just release into the flow. That'll bring such profound peace in your life, and then, for example, I know somebody who just started doing releasing, and before, she has a job where a lot of changes have happened in her department, and she would never have put her hand up. She has so many great ideas about how to lead this department, and she would never in the past have put her hand up and said, hey, I can lead this department. And she told me, she said, they came to me and asked me, do you want to be a supervisor? And she said yes. And she's like, I have a lot of great ideas. And what she's done is she's released on that fear of death in her job. And she's just now attracting so many wonderful things in her environment, because she's no longer afraid of what might happen.
Because what does that, what happens is we're not in love. If we
Yes.
fear something, we're not in love, because all love casts out all fear, it says in the scriptures.
Yes.
And it's so true in our practical lives. And we were talking about earlier regarding my kids, how I felt When they get in the car, they drive somewhere, I would kind of pray out of fear. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
let them be protected. And instead of letting that fear go and just understanding they've got a journey in every single day that they enter, and that I don't have to come from trying to protect and trying to control. Because think about it, fear of something is also like it controls you,
Mm.
locks you in, as you also mentioned before. And stepping in, just saying, okay, release fear, and the feeling of freedom is the most amazing, rewarding sense.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So now when I catch myself wanting to kind of put this religious prayer in, I just let go, and I see their lives fulfilled rather.
And that just breathes life into them, and that, you releasing your locked energy for them
Mm.
releases any locked energy they have too. I recall hearing a story of a guy who actually was struck by lightning twice, and he passed on, quote, twice, and he came back twice and said, "Look, you literally have nothing to worry about. It is nothing to be afraid of.
Wow.
It is beautiful. You pass into just absolute perfect love." And he's focused his life on sharing this message. He says, because if people knew how not scary death is, they would be so excited to live their life. And then when the people they love pass on, they can be sad for themselves, but they can operate in freedom and celebration of that person's new birth in the spirit.
Mm.
And I'm reminded of Joseph Murphy. I can't remember which book it is. I think it's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. But he talks about how during his lectures, he would see people who had passed on, great teachers that he had followed, attending his lectures in Los Angeles. And so just the fact that the people we know and love could be around and decide to attend an event that they want to be part of, it just feels like, oh, they're not gone. And they're absolutely not. You're never going to be gone. So, man, if you could just let go of that, if there's no death, how fun does life get now?
Absolutely. And I think this is also the great actually the fun part of what we are called to do in our quantum school, the Quantum U school, is to bring people into this place to be so fearless,
Yeah.
to full of life and live out of abundance and step into who they really are. And I'm so looking forward to this, because we've had so much experience with people we've worked with. And when their faces light up, Ashley, and you see the freedom in their faces, it's them coming to know who they really are.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. It's such a reward, and I'm just really looking forward to that. We were talking about this now, but I would like to just maybe introduce our school. We spoke about it in the beginning, and it's getting
Yes.
closer. And I don't know if you want to just share what we are up to soon,
Sure.
that people can maybe already get in touch with us.
Absolutely. So, Renelle and I have started a company called Quantum U, as you may see on our logo there. And this platform is designed to get you to live divine. And so, kind of like we touched on today, if you have a fear of death in any situation in your life, how do you get out of that, and how do you operate in flow? And so we have classes that we're designing that are going to be geared toward um, getting you to live effortlessly and live divine in the areas of health, your finances, your work, your relationships, anything that's important to you in life, and release this fear of death so you can live with just reckless abandon.
Yes. Yes, we can also be offering a free masterclass soon. And I think you've got the topic of the masterclass right in front of you, Ashley.
Yes, I do. The first topic is how to naturally attract success in every life situation. So, a little teaser is, if there's a situation in your life where you feel like you are driving with the brakes on, How do you let the break off and live and let flow? So we're going to talk a little bit about that in that master class. And then our website is still under construction, and it's going to be wonderful. We can't wait to share it with you. It is quantumu.co. And then if you'd like to email Renelle and I to get on the list for the masterclass, our emails are Renelle, Ronel, at quantumu.com. And then, I'm sorry, quantumu.co. And then my email is Ashley, ASHLEY, at quantumu.co. So shoot us an email. We're not exactly sure of the date of the masterclass. We'll be releasing that soon. But it's going to be really fun to build community. It's going to be a live class with a bunch of people on, so it's going to be great.
Thank you so much. And places you can find us. Just on Instagram, it's just check
Quantum U Academy. Yep, all lowercase, no spaces or dashes.
Okay, and you can find us on Facebook under Quantum U Academy, and any other platforms. We got YouTube, but we actually haven't put a YouTube video up on yet. Oh, there is actually one, and actually all our podcasts go on there. You can find us, as you know, you're listening on Spotify, so that is really good. So yeah, share if you're excited about what is coming up. Share with your friends, share with your family, and join us for the masterclass. Thank you so much.
Can't wait to have you guys. Yes. Thanks for listening today.
Thank you.
And no fearing death. Go fearlessly into your day.
Yes, have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Till next week.